afternoon, everyone. My speech will be an exception. I'm sorry, because my speech will be more like information rather idea. So I just want to introduce some Chinese hot spring information to you. May I use this? So we have to begin with from the sources. China has, you see from all the red dotted is hot springs. There are about more than 5,000 hot spring sources in China, distributed all over China, except the southwest area. The most concentrated area is southwest of China, especially in Tibet and Yunnan province, neighboring Laos and Myanmar, this area. Another concentrated area is coastal airlines. China had 18,000 coastal lines, 18,000 kilometers coastal lines, from the northeast to the southeast. Along the Pacific Rim area, there are many hot springs, including two islands, Hainan and Taiwan. So, based on these resources, China has a long history of hot springs. We have many years tried to give a definition for the hot spring. 3 years ago, our association had finally give a definition for the hot springs. That means hot springs was water coming out from the surface of the ground, earth, naturally or by drilling, with temperatures over 25 degrees, and contains at least one mineral proved to be for the health of human beings. This is also based on the hydrochemicals measurements. We separate hot springs into 12 categories, 12 types. Then about at least 2,000 years ago, China has exploited the hot springs and used hot springs. In the different history, we have different statistics about hot springs. For example, in 1926, a book written by the Professor Zhang named the China Hot Spring Connections showed China had 972 natural hot springs. But recent statistics shows we have had 5,000, including natural hot springs and the drilling one. Our hot spring culture is rooted in the TCM. In the Tang Dynasty, that 1880 to 907, the hot spring is used by the emperor. The map is showed the hot spring palace in Chang'an cities. They are always together about 15 hot spring pools used by emperor and his wives and families. But the balneotherapy was first introduced from Japan to China in about 1928 by Professor Chen, who used to study in Japan, follow the Japan professor, medical spa professor. And then he take the balneotherapy concept to China In 1940, he wrote a book about medical hot spring and balneotherapy. In 1949, when the new China was established, Chinese government introduced the Soviet Union sanatorium system to China. In the 1950s and the 60s, China had altogether set up over 300 sanatorium, hot spring sanatorium in China. At its heyday, in early 1960s, the number of sanatoriums reached 350. All these sanatoriums supported by the government, and this was taken to the healthcare system of China. But in the mid-1960s to 1970s, because the revolutionary, cultural revolutionary, the whole history is almost destroyed. But in early 1990s, the new concept of hot spring, onsen hot spring, outdoor hot spring, introduced to China again from Japan. So we have to thank for Japan's. In 1990s, mid-1990s, a new type of hot spring named hot spring tourism emerged in China. So this type of hot spring developed very fast, and now at present it's also the mainstream of hot springs. Now we have altogether 1,500 hot spring establishments in China already, and another 1,000 is under planning and developed. And the thermalism was first introduced in China in 2005 to 2007 introduced by the FEMTEC. That means the World Federation of Hydrotherapy and Climatotherapy. And in 2009, China Hot Spring Tourism Association was established, in which I'm the managing director for the expert committee. So we have established very close relations with FEMTEC. With the help and the support from FEMTEC, we try to establish a thermalism in China. That means the wellness and health-focused hot springs. Currently, thermalism has been a new popular word, and business design concept widely accepted in China. There are some newly hot springs establishments focused on health and wellness. Some famous European and Japanese hot spring brands has come to China, such as Vichy. Vichy has entered the China market for 4 years already, and Vichy had about 4 projects is under construction in China. Another famous brand is Japanese Hoshinoya Group. The founder of Hoshinoya, Hoshino-san, is my old friend. He supports me and helped me a lot. So Hoshinoya now has 2 projects in China is under construction, and one will be opened at the end of this year in Jiangxi province. And the typical Chinese hot spring is like this. This hot spring named Ocean Hot Spring, Ocean Hot Spring in the Zhuhai city near Macau and Hong Kong. This project covered about 1 square meters, and with the center, hot spring center, designed by a Japanese architecture firm. and two five-star hotels with over 600 rooms designed by WATG by American Architecture. The whole plan, including water park and commercial street and health management center, and even the luxury villa and theme park, all together. The total investment is over 300 million renminbi yuan. So it opened in 10 years ago and still in good operation. The highest capacity of receiving per year is 800,000 people. This is very typical. And the market size is growing big and big, and you know the visitors we received has grown up averagely 15% to 20% up. In the 2014, there are about 255 million visitors to visit the hot springs, but 95% of them is day spa. Few of them stay as overnights. And the new trend is about wellness and health. So the main purpose for going to hot spring is leisure and relaxation. Behind it is a high stress because of competitive society and work. So the people to hot springs is just for fun, for leisure and for relaxation now. But the new trend is wellness and a preventive medicine-oriented project. The silver economy is emerging. The elder society is coming to China. Now we have over 200 million elders over 60 years old, over 60 years. This is a big market, but we are not ready to take care of them. Now, early this year, the Chinese government issued a policy named Healthy China 2030. This is a very important transformation for China's healthcare system from the conventional medicine to preventive medicine. This is supported by the TCM, Chinese TCM, because the focus of TCM is for preventive, not for treatment. And I also would like to introduce some government departments related to the hot springs. In China, the central government, there are 3 ministries related to the hot springs. One is the Ministry of Land Resources, who is in charge of the resources development, exploitation, and drilling. And the second is the Ministry of Health and Family Planning. All the medical and the health hot springs must be applied for the permission from the Ministry of Health. We have also, the whole industry now is tourism industries. So the National Administration of Tourism is now the major hot spring tourism. So the hot springs, there are 3 hot spring associations. One is the Hot Spring Tourism Association under the National Tourism Administration. I work for. Another is a Bathing and Spa Association, also Sea Spa. This is under the Ministry of Commerce. And the last is the Geothermal Association of China under the Ministry of Land Resources. So that's all. Sorry for my spoken English. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.